I spent $354,076 on link building in 2022. In this video, I want to cover 4 things. Number 1, who are the best link building agencies to help you build links to your blog or website? How to avoid getting ripped off by link building agencies? Why you should actually be moving away from link building agencies? And what you should be doing instead to maximize rank and traffic to your website. If you like expert SEO and blogging strategies, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. And let's just get into it. All right, so I'm gonna jump into my screen here and just pop into my presentation. So again, I already covered what you're gonna learn. Let's just talk about who are the best and worst link building agencies right now. And really quick, just to show you that I'm not full of it, I actually did spend $354,076 last year on links, and that doesn't even include December. And this is all of the different pieces of this link building program. I'll get into that in a different video. So I ranked, I've actually used 8 different agencies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These 3 I haven't used, but I've heard terrible things, so I wanted to include them in the list. But the 8 that I did use, I just want to unpack each of these really quick. So ReachCreator is number 1. If you go to their website, they specialize in a few different types of link packages. The one that I usually go with is this outreach bit. And if you scroll to the bottom, they have a couple different tiers. I'm usually over here in this ultra premium tier. Now, what I like about ReachCreator is that they're pretty bespoke. They have discounts, their links, and this is usually my biggest criteria, and I'm gonna get into my criteria in a second, but ReachCreator is really great in that the links that they have are not on a lot of other link building agencies lists. And that's why they're number 1 in my list here. But basically, the way they work is that they'll email websites. And this is how most link agencies work. They'll email websites and be like, hey, I have a potential business opportunity. I want to place links and guest posts on your site. Are you open to that? If so, I'll reach out to you in the future with an opportunity. And then when you as the client come and approach them, it's like, hey, let me get some ultra premium tier links. They'll go to their list and see if who's matching your site in terms of niche. And then they'll just reach out to that website and be like, hey, we have an opportunity. Is this okay for you? We'll write the article. And that's basically how it works. I don't usually do these 2 tiers because I usually want the best. So I'm almost always over here. And when I do purchase from ReachCreator, I do go in bulk and they do offer discounts, which I like. So moving back to my spreadsheet here. Yeah, so I really like them. And they're generally around $300 per link on average. They have some more expensive links and some more cheaper links, but I'm usually around that average. And I scored them a B. WeOutreach, now they're pretty popular and I have used them a bunch across different websites. I like them. I know the owner, his name's Jason, really nice guy, really understands link building. But at the end of the day, they came in a bit lower than ReachCreator. And the reason why is because the links that I've seen them build more and more are just not, they're just links that I see a lot often in other link building agencies lists, right? And again, you have to understand the sort of the underlying problem with link agencies in the first place. And if you're currently buying links from an agency, I would recommend that you stop doing that. And the reason is because every agency usually gets their links from the same pool of websites. And that's sort of a ticking time bomb because over time, Google, especially recently with Spam Brain, Google is trying to root out these websites that are just giving out links. And there's this old notion of like, well, if the link doesn't have any value, then it's fine. And the answer is, I would argue no. If you get a link from a website and you're like, oh, this is a spam link, it's not going to pass any negative value. If it's not good, it just won't pass any value. And I think that's like some of the propaganda that Google has out there. But at the end of the day, when you're building links to your site, you want to associate your website with good neighborhoods, not bad neighborhoods. If you are getting links from other sites that are just constantly linking out to websites, that's a bad neighborhood. Actually, really quick, let me show you an example. So if I scroll down here later in the presentation, Optimistic Mommy is an example of a website that just constantly gives out links. And if you were to go through their website, they're a website about everything. And if you go deep enough, you'll find articles on like casinos, dentists, lawn care. Like it doesn't make any sense why all these articles are on this website. But if this website is linking to your website, you've now associated yourself with this website. Now that's not necessarily going to tank your website or anything, but it's just like another like slight step in the wrong direction in terms of your link profile. And if Google thinks that you're trying to manipulate the search results by getting links from websites like this, you're in for a world of pain. And the reason that I'm going back to link agencies is because all link agencies work with websites like Optimistic Mommy. And the reason they do that is because these are the ones that are giving out links for money. And that's almost always how link agencies work. They will reach out to websites, pay them some money. The website will then put the content and the link on the website. So the link building agency makes money from the customer. The website makes money from the link agency. So everybody's getting a little bit of money, but what's happening is you're getting a link from a website that just sells links, and that's bad. And that's usually how most link agencies work. And that's kind of how WeOutreach works. And it's not just WeOutreach, it's all link agencies. They all operate this way. ReachCreator they also operate this way, but I found just through experience, their criteria is a bit higher. And I've just seen better links from them. WeOutreach, I've seen some really quality links. In fact, I have a list of all the links they built for Learning Jewelry when I was building that site. They were helping me with this site. And again, they're not bad links. Like some of these are good links, but I bumped them up against my domain blacklist. And I found out of 60 links that they built, that 32 of them, let me double check the numbers, were 39 minus the header. It's like 38 links were in my blacklist. So if you're not familiar, this blacklist I put this together as an asset for myself to manage link agencies in my own link building program. Basically any website that I come across in my own outreach efforts that want to just give me money for a link, I add them to this list. That's really important because then when I go to agencies, I'm like, I don't want links from these websites. That's a way to manage link building agencies. And I didn't do this with WeOutreach because this was a number of years ago. I didn't really have this list, and they just kept building these links. Now, again, these links aren't bad per se, but they're just like creating the potential for me to be penalized later in the future. Hard to say if that'll actually happen, but I do know, Harlem World Magazine, I see that link on like everybody's backlink profile. I've seen South Florida Porter on everybody's backlink profile. These websites are just giving away links, and that's not good. Now, moving on to Linkbuilder IO. This is another agency that I've worked with very briefly. I never actually bought any links from them because they sent me a sample, and I was skimming through their sample and was like, I've seen all of these links before on my blacklist and on other websites' backlink profiles. So I was like, this is not a good agency or one that I want to work with. Again, you're like, oh, Shane, but they have traffic. That's good, right? It's good, yes, but it's not necessarily a like free for all, like, yes, you want a link from this website. My theory is that Google will basically devalue the link equity that a website gives if it finds or thinks that website is just giving out links. But the links that website is getting are not devalued. Therefore, the traffic that website has is what it is, right? So 123K for architectural art designs. The links that they have are powering that traffic, but the links that they're giving probably don't have as much value. And that's basically my take and why I'm like, okay, traffic's important, but it's not be all end all. Anyway, so that's Linkbuilder IO. I actually never bought any links from them because I saw their sample and I was not interested. Relevance is another interesting one. So Relevance here, this is an agency that I found through a network contact. And they're like, hey, Relevance, they do link building. They're interesting. You should check them out. So I checked them out and they gave me a bunch of links that were like really bad links, like clearly link farm links. Let me actually pull that up. So here we go. This is the spreadsheet that I was given. And again, I do the same thing. Anytime I only work with agencies that actually give me samples, by the way. If they don't give you a sample, do not work with them. They gave me a sample, and I apologize for the bright red here, but I basically was like shooting down these sites. And the way that they work is they charge by DA. So if this DA 93, which is like kind of like DR, but it's for Moz, they were charging like $3,000 for it, which was crazy. I wonder if it's still even active. Let's see. Yeah, still active. And I made a comment that it looks just like Soup, and it looks very similar to Soup. Science, health, entertainment, business, technology, news, technology, business. It's like literally, these are link farms. This is literally what a link farm looks like. So if you're not sure what bad links look like, this is a great example of one. And I'm sure there's a chock full of sites in here. Now, soup.io used to be a real website, and that's the thing. That's how most of this works. The creators of these link farms will resurrect these sites with lots of links as expired domains, and they'll recreate them, and they'll publish fresh content on them. And the only way these things are being monetized is through giving out links. So that is an entire business model that exists. SearchTides, I've used them before. They're okay. I like them. They're not the worst. They're very similar to WeOutreach and Linkbuilder IO. I would say they probably pull from the same links. Cornerstone, and they're a bit different. So they're a different agency. The way they work, they actually create an article for your site and pitch it as skyscraper. So they'll promote it like basically how you would do it yourself. They find emails, they'll pitch to people. Fresh. They're not going back to a list, and that's why I really like them. I actually marked them B+ among the highest scores, but unfortunately, they've since gone out of business, or at least that's the last thing I heard. Mainly because I think they were charging too low, and they were also facing a lot of issues with open rates and things like that because of their model. It depends on open rates. It depends on people actually still giving out links without money because they don't charge for links. And that's just their model. They basically only want free. And that was just how they did business. And that's becoming harder and harder to do. So they've stopped doing business. Now, freelancers, the way this is sort of a mixed bag, right? I've been in the industry so long that I know people that just do freelance link building. And that's really good because it's cheaper. Agencies have more overhead, so they have to charge more per link. Freelancers don't necessarily have to do that. Freelancers, it's usually one or two people, maybe usually one person. They have relationships with all these websites, and you just have a deal with this freelancer, and then the freelancer will go ahead and build a link to the website, and you'll pay them, and everyone gets paid, but it's just cheaper because it's one person, not a whole company. So I've found a few of those, and those do really well. And usually you can get very bespoke link building with freelancers that are it's just better quality because you can be like, no, I don't want all these links. I want these links only, and then you can get a good deal. So the last one I have on my list here is Jolly SEO. So Jolly SEO, I've been using them for a couple of years. They are a Harrow specialized link building agency. Funny story about these guys, I actually met them in a Facebook group. They pinged me doing, I guess, cold outreach to people in a Facebook group that had websites. And they're like, hey, you interested in Harrow links? And I was like, Harrow links? Yeah, sure, let's try something out. And then I trialed them and they did really good. They delivered really quickly. They were very prompt. They were responsive. They were just really good quality or link building organization. The only downside is that they're really expensive, $550 per link. And their org is quite large at this point. I think I want to say like 15 people big. And they just have a lot of overheads. They have to charge a lot more for links, all the rest. So I liked Jolly SEO. They only really do Harrow, so that's kind of their thing. They have a couple new products out now. I haven't tested those yet, but maybe soon I will try. But I really did like them as a link agency. Now, let me move on into some specific criteria and how, again, more detail about how I measured these sites. So ReachCreator, they all had links on my blacklist. Let me just cut straight to the chase here. So I always check my blacklist and I'm always just say, hey, does this link exist on my blacklist? And it does, and it did for all of these link agencies. And I'm gonna say it again, that every link agency operates very similarly. They're all getting links from the same websites. So you have to know that that's what you're getting into when you go buying links from websites like this. It's not like just pay money and get visibility. You are adding risk to your link profile. In fact, anytime I think about buying a website, I'm always checking the backlink profile to see how many links are in the backlink profile that are in my blacklist. And if it's more than like 15% links like overlap, then it's like a no-go. It's just too risky because those links are probably going to get devalued over time. So quality of links. I found that ReachCreator had among the best quality links in terms of what I was getting. I might even give Jolly like maybe a B+ on this one. The reason I didn't give them an A is because occasionally they would build links that were irrelevant for my website, even though I gave them instructions like don't build irrelevant links to my website about painting. I only want home improvement links. I would occasionally get a link about, I don't know, some kind of like CRM software or something. So that didn't work out for me. Turnaround time, I really found that ReachCreator had really pretty good turnaround time. I would say about monthly, you'll expect 10 to 15 links depending on how many you buy. But if you put an order in for 10 links, you can expect those links to be delivered in like 30 days or 45 days. Which is good. The faster an agency can turn around links, usually the worse, because you have to ask yourself, how is it possible that you can just place a link so fast? And that's not good because basically it signals to me like, okay, do they own all these websites? Is it like a giant PBN network? I really don't want to be affiliated with that. So like a turnaround time of about a month is usually what I recommend. WeOutreach was also about a month. in terms of turnaround time. So again, not too bad there. Linkbuilder IO, I never actually bought anything from them. Relevance, they were about a quarter. So I put in a couple orders for a few of the links they did give me, which were acceptable. It took them about a quarter to do it. So that's with that. SearchTides, also about a month, 30 to 45 days. Cornerstone, they were a little longer, about 60 days, because they actually, again, they create content for you. They do some strategy work, which I love that. But again, that's why they're kind of out of business. It's not really a model that's sustainable. So they're out. But freelancers, you almost always get the best turnaround time of freelancers because they're working one-on-one with you. They know what you need, and that my experience has been pretty fast. Jolly SEO, again, about a month to 2 months turnaround. Harrow is usually about a month, 2 months of delay after you submit a query. So that's what I found. Customer service, I didn't love customer service ReachCreator. Steve Brownlee, who's the guy that runs the show there, he is very slow. He's not very slow, but he's slower to respond. And I'm surprised they actually don't have a customer service department. He's one of the co-founders, I want to say, and he's slow responding to all of the orders. I would have expected like maybe an account management situation, like an account manager to have dealt with me sooner, but I'm not seeing that. Maybe that's how they're getting better rates on their links, because they don't have that. WeOutreach, I did appreciate, like at the time when I did use WeOutreach for learning jewelry, they were very attentive. Jason's a great guy. I really did feel like they listened to all my feedback. And when I did get bad links from them, I was like, hey, this link here, I didn't like that. Why did you build that? They would go back and try to fix the situation. So they were very amenable in that regard. So I appreciated that. Linkbuilder IO, again, not a lot here. Honestly, I could put NA here, but I put C because the guy who I was dealing with to get started kind of short with me, didn't really give me like time of day. He just like sent me a sample and like said, if you're interested, let me know. And that was kind of the end of it. So it wasn't that a great an experience, but maybe I should put an NA there. Relevance, I will say that even though I didn't like their links, their customer service was good. They had a dedicated account manager, probably because they're charging a lot for links. And they were very much willing to listen. In fact, they actually gave me an SEO audit as a part of the package, which I didn't ask for. But they're like, hey, like, you want to build links to this page? Here's some like suggested SEO things to do. I was like, okay, great. And I ignored them because like, I know what I'm doing from an SEO perspective. I don't need their help. I want the links, but I appreciate the help. SearchTides, decent. Again, not bad. Like they were very attentive. They had an account manager. She was very, she answered all my questions. She gave me time updates like weekly. Can't complain about that. Cornerstone, again, similar, gave me very prompt updates. I appreciated all of the work that Chris, the owner, did to help build links. But at the end of the day, they also, again, went out of business. But they actually did have an account manager. Her name was Wendy, and she would always, respond to my questions if anything, I needed anything, and I really appreciated that. Freelancers, again, freelancers are freelancers. They're going to respond to you. That's just what it is. Jolly SEO, they had an account rep or account manager. I think Mindy or something like that. And she was, again, super attentive. Any questions? Love that. That's the job of an account manager. So when you have one, that's usually a good experience. In terms of price, B for ReachCreator. ReachCreator is definitely not the cheapest, not the most expensive. So I gave him a B. WeOutreach, they're getting kind of expensive. They're like, I want to say $350 per link right now for basically the same links that I can get for ReachCreator. So they're a bit more expensive. And again, I was talking to Jason a couple of months ago, and they're adding more headcount to their business, and that's going to increase the costs across the board. But that's how they scale, and I totally get that, and that makes sense. It's just a little out of budget for me. Linkbuilder IO, and really the rest of these are kind of a mixed bag. So, CFC, it's just a lot of like expensive. It really was just like Linkbuilder was like $400 per link. Relevance was like $3,000 per link, so they got an F. SearchTides was like $300-ish per link, so not terrible price, but about the same as WeOutreach. Cornerstone was like $200 per link, so that was a great deal. Again, they're out of business. Freelancers, you can get a really great deal, honestly. They're going to get you the best, but finding them is the hard part. And then Jolly SEO, I gave them a D because they're really expensive, but they usually give quality. So that's my review of each of these providers. I'm going to follow up this video with a part 2, which is how to hire agencies, specifically how you make sure that you don't get taken advantage of, how do you manage them, all of that covered in my follow-up video. So make sure you check that one out. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you soon.